Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! Resolve. In the last episode, we finally did it. We are allowed to work as a lawyer right now, again, in Great Britain. We went to Lord Strongheart and he actually also gave us a case to work on. And we also met the defendant, so if you haven't watched that, just go back to my channel and see how the episode folds out. But right now we are here at the prosecutor's office. So that means we are going to meet Barak von Zieks in person for the very first time outside a trial. Isn't that exciting? I am totally excited, so therefore, without further ado, it's the 22nd October at the prosecutor's office. So let's talk to von Zieks. Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. Brr, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere! Oh, is that... That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is. What are you doing here? He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other?
No punishment is taking place here.
Oh.
That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will.
I didn't know you had an apprentice. It must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper.
He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage.
Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers?
The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
Oh, the music! Oh! Okay, sorry guys. It sends chills down my spine. Oh, okay. I'm going to be a little impolite and gonna examine his office first. That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord von Zieks' facial features. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. Oh, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. Oh, Wayne, that's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
Oh, then who is it? Okay, you won't tell us, huh? Come on, Barak. We're buds. Lord von Zieks' desk. Look, it's so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess, that's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord von Zieks sometime to a bout of shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. Well, that is true. But being good at shogi, I mean, he is a lawyer. He's more like a detective lawyer, like Ace Attorney. So, therefore, he has to be good at shogi, right? Rinosuke, you're an Ace Attorney, so... That reminds me of Shikamaru. Maybe if you know Naruto, Shikamaru is also very good at shogi. So that is maybe a topos, a topic, a figure for being smart in Japanese culture, maybe. I don't know. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there.
My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes.
Oh.
Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile.
So, it's my fault? Silly me. How could I ever have thought otherwise? Oh, yes. Okay, what about this model here? Oh, look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground! That's amazing! I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person. Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket.
Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid.
Oh!
You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
I really didn't think he'd overhear that. Well, he sees everything and hears everything, Ryunosuke, so nothing left here. We wanna be thorough. We wanna be thorough. Okay. Oh, the music is so awesome. I love that. Oh, there are bats on here. There were bats there. Oh, they were bats. Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind. He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way. Is there something else we can check out here? So this seems like the model. Okay, so... this is the murder case, maybe? Strange. Okay, so let's have a look here. Look at all those ancient casks lining in the wall there. Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets? You don't think? All those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them? Dead, do you?
What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up. Bruno and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot.
Alright, can we check out the familiar then? Apparently we can. It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead! Well, unfortunate that we can't talk to that person. So that means it's finally time to talk to Barack Zieks in person. But you know me. First things first, we're gonna present. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but...
What is it exactly?
It's the mark of a defense lawyer, in Japan at least.
And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor?
Oh, well, I don't know, really.
I can understand at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today.
Oh.
But that's a personal matter, something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt.
No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. Inspirational Roots! I just got an achievement for that, guys! Inspirational Roots! We're gonna show him the newspaper too, of course. Lord von Zieks, about the article in this paper.
Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea it had been photographed. It was careless of me.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
As I mentioned already, he is my apprentice.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him. Aha! So we did something good, but let's talk about last night's attack first, right? We presented everything, yes we did, so it's finally time to converse. Last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of a revenge attack.
True, carried out by henchmen of Odai Asman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened.
Odai Asman?
He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor, but his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was a most unusual cause of death.
I know about that. It was super high voltage, instantaneous kinetics has gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration in the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion.
Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you?
Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh yes, that's right, though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
Albert Harebrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance?
Of course. He is a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're... What? What? Oh, guys, this is unfolding really insanely. You're contemporary. We're going to talk about that. I understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though.
Harebrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all.
Oh, okay, then I have to... If you have watched the last episode, I tried to give him a German accent, but that's not actually what he is. He is British, so I have to figure out something else to characterize him. Sorry for that, guys. So you're students together?
I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he in science. So our paths rarely crossed. But curiously we got along, though I have not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you of all people representing him.
Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord von Zieks thinking?
Oh my god, okay, this is taking a turn for the incredible guys. The Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and immortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not their trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the wildest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world's a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsmith, for example. He wasn't a wild wretch at all. No, was Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hard-working now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is, if any of those wild wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work.
Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
Do you mean to say...
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide.
Lord von Zieks. Oh my god, what an incredible character. Oh, it's so sad that he wasn't formed in any... He wasn't shaped enough in the first game. He was just the antagonist. And now he really takes form. I really like that. Okay, sorry guys. I'm really just... I'm overwhelmed by how well this conversation is written. Let's talk about his apprentice.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Runo. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with the great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask.
On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity.
But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his action.
I hope you're right. Let's have a good look at him. It seems like... Of course, because of the mask, we can't tell, but he seems to have some kind of resemblance to Kazuma. Let's see what he has to say.
The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Nice to meet you. Back to work again. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter.
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, I see.
Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway?
Oh no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be.
Oh yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry?
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the moustache, and the jitters.
Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Bruno. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san, after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. Mad scientist? Oh, you mean Professor Harebrain? Harebrain. Sorry, guys. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord von Zieks, I think. Oh, the music. The music again. Okay. Bye, Zeeksy. We're moving to the prison again and talking. We're going to talk to Harebrain about his relationship with von Zieks. The Reaper's varsity years. Let's talk about that. I understand Lord von Zieks is a friend of yours from university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Sorry to have changed the voice for this person. I'm really sorry. I thought he was German, so I tried a German accent last episode. I'm really sorry I messed that up, guys, but this is a blind Let's Play, okay? Sorry for that. From now on, I'll try to better myself. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barak von Zieks. What was he like when he was at university? Talk about a leading question, Bruno. As I said, an unassuming, extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the von Zieks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such a noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation.
Really? What sort of event?
Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already.
Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord von Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please.
When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. All right, Bruno, it's time. Time to visit the great exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last.
Well, guys, we are finally investigating the scene. A new location has been added, the experimentation stage. We're gonna go there, of course, but we're nearing the half-hour mark. And since we're very close, and this is going to take some time, as you can assume, we're gonna have to leave this investigation, this part of the investigation, of this day of the investigation. I don't know how many days of investigation we will have, but if you want to know what the Crystal Tower and the crime scene has in stock for us, you'll have to tune in next time for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
Resolve. See you there.